Good morning. I'm Johnny Scoville, and this is Chase the Heat South America. I'm happy that you guys are here. I appreciate you. Hello, Brock Bandy. It's my brother. Hello, A. It's good to see you. I know who A is. I'm so excited. A is very cool. Hi, Krista Melinda, Dizzy Dragon, Barbara, and Jane. What a great start. All right. If you can, let's pull the okie doke. Like clockwork. Katie, let's hit that like button and see if we can get a bunch of people to see this. I'll try this again. Pardon my formality. My glasses. Informality. There you go. This one will stick. Hey, y'all. Good to see you. How cool. Look at the 5x5s. You guys are wonderful. All right. So I was thinking this morning about Tommy's tooth is hurting again. And there's not much he can do until he has an appointment. So appreciate you guys and your prayers. Look at that. Just by hitting the like, a few more people have joined us. My mind's always going. It never stops. You guys like that? My mind is always reeling. So there's a lot going on right now in the world. I mean, there's earthquakes and tsunamis and just an amazing thing. And I'm always throwing things at you that I think often of my boss saying when he put me in charge of a whole region, if it's happening in one office, it's happening in all. If one of us is feeling something, I gotta believe the majority of us are. And I think a lot of us are feeling a bit overwhelmed. There is Lisa Trimble, overwhelmed, absolutely, hiding but here. I see you. I'm glad you're here. Everybody's saying hi to everybody. This is great. You know what's happening? I try to tap on a comment and it flips. Inevitably, it does it all the time. Lefinar. Good to see you. I don't know if I may not be saying that right, but thank you for being here. And here's a guy that gets it. Barella, the man, the myth. We almost got to get rid of the myth part too. We're working on it. It's a process. Goodness gracious. All right. So let's see a show of hands. All right. Who's feeling overwhelmed right now? I am. You guys feeling overwhelmed? It's the reason for this. I'm having a wonderful cup of coffee. Wow, is that hot? Look at, there's some ones. You're awesome. Dizzy's overwhelmed. We all are. I think it's just part of life. But right now, it just seems like maybe it's me, like a rubber band's being pulled. It just can't pull a whole lot further. Kind of how it feels to me. So now I got to tell you something. I don't have the answers. I don't have any answers. But we're just going to talk about it. Look at this. Lefinar says, I've been overwhelmed for over a year now. It's not easy to go to. It's a tough experience. Barbara says, yesterday I was, but today I'm good. Thank you. I'm so glad you're good. Marty Mongoose, thank you for being here. Look at that. It's Marty Mongoose. And Rebecca Taylor, thank you for being here. I heard Mercury is in retrograde. I don't even know what that means. I think I'm in retrograde. I don't even know what that means. But let's talk a little bit. Overwhelmed, man. I am. And you know what? If you look at the news, what do? It seems like from every angle, no matter where you look, overwhelmed. Everything just piles on. It's like someone should throw a flag. Unnecessary roughness. It's kind of what's going on right now. But I feel it. You know what I mean? So we're going to talk a little bit about being overwhelmed. Lilac Lime. It's so good to see you this morning. It's funny, we talk about the student and the teacher. Every one of us are students and every one of us are teachers. And every one of us you're all influencers and you're all gurus. Somebody in the chat this morning was my guru this morning. Said something that I needed to hear. And the timing, impeccable. Barbara says, my grandson told me Mercury is in Metrograde, Gatorade. It's cute. Out of the mouths of babes, they say the funniest things. Okay, so listen, I don't have any answers. Let's start the whole thing by saying that. So good to see you, Barbara. I don't have any answers. I wish I did, but I can talk. That's about all I can do. Look at this. Boogaloo Jedi, like the name. I've been overwhelmed since November. Discovered my wife was having an affair with my best friend. Got divorced. Been exploring psychedelics heavily, pursuing healing, and sitting with my pain. That's a tough place to be, Boogaloo Jedi. I'm sorry. I don't know how you feel, but it's rough. I can tell by your words. So, you know what? I'm trying to stop saying, I know how you feel. I've been there. No, I don't. I've certainly been divorced, but I don't know what you're feeling because I felt so. My pain was very personal to me, and what you're going through, Boogaloo Jedi, is very personal for you. So I'm not going to say I know what you're going through. All I can say is I'm really sorry you're going through that. I'm glad you're here. You may have shown up at the right place. Who knows? You'll have to let us know at the end if you showed up at the right place. Archie's mom, glad to see you. I really am. Thank you guys for being here. You're going to find support here, Boogaloo Jedi. See that? That sounds tough. I'm so sorry. I hope you're finding healing. Wes Lightburn, good to see you. It's pretty neat. I heard Tommy say, I just want to steal this from Tommy. Tommy says that his superpower is somehow drawing the finest people. And maybe it's a Scoville thing, but some of the greatest people come here. Certainly isn't because of me. But regardless, I appreciate you all being here. Dizzy Dragon says, the solution I always get is delegate what you can what you can control and what you can't. Here's a problem. We all want control, and letting go and realizing that you don't have any sometimes can be freeing. Life and our things have been a bit crazy, but each and every day we get to wake up and change our lives. Yep. How to be brand new every day. The challenge, right? Boogaloo Jedi says, I'm in it. It's tough climbing mountains and falling back into valleys. I will endeavor to persevere. Boy, you know what? I love your spirit. I really do. It's a hard place to find yourself. You know what? If you're brand new here, you see ones in the chat, you might be going, what's going on here? That is something that we do here. We do it on my brother's channel as well. You know what that is? That's emotional support. It's like, I don't know who Boogaloo Jedi is, but I care. And a lot of people in the chat, we don't know each other. You know what I look like, but a lot of times that's all we got. But we care. So when you see a one, that's for some people, it's just, I acknowledge you. I'm seeing you. I'm here together. And boy, I see your pain. I want you to know it. That's what a one means. For some people, one means I'm sending good vibrations and positive healing. You know what I mean? For some people that are spiritual or believers, it means I'm going to say a prayer for you. But if I don't explain that, you think a bunch of stupid people follow this guy. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I'm glad you guys are all here. And hopefully I'll have something to say that might be of use to you guys. I hope so. This is a place for non-judgmental, a great place for non-judgmental, positive, and insightful people. I like to think it is. But I'll tell you something. I steal so much from my brother. I'm going to sit here and just say what I'm going to say, but there's so much incredible stuff happening in the chat. It really is beautiful. You know what I mean? You guys are wonderful that you're here for each other. Caroline, glad to see you. Thanks for being here. All right. Okay, so I'm overwhelmed big time. Everywhere I turn, it seems to be a little bit more. You know what I mean? I don't watch the news, but when there's like a tsunami warning, and I live on a coast, you're going to hear about it. I heard there was a tsunami that we were included. I live in Ecuador. I heard that we were included in that tsunami warning. Katie, what are you doing, sweetheart? She's trying to eat her bird, stuffed bird, a stuffed bird that Lisa Trimble gave her. She's being very, very cute today. So there's no tsunami that's coming here, but the whole world is in just a really crazy place right now. Everybody, no joke, right? Don't worry about it. You're not late, Caroline. Blue Jedi says, I've been lurking for a while, been on the hot pepper kick since I was in Afghanistan. I've eaten some of the world's hottest, nothing like some of you guys, but I've found it to be therapeutic. It is. One of the big parts about the therapeutic side is that there are a lot of great people who eat peppers. We kind of end up bumping into each other, and that's helpful. I steal a lot from Tommy. It's okay. He's my brother, so he steals stuff from me. Leif and R, appreciate you, Johnny, for at least making space for us to be able to talk about it. Amen. We'll talk about it. We shall. Dizzy says, I have a ton of work. To make right now. For example, I have to write a scientific paper, then make a video explaining it, then writing more stuff. But I'm blocked. I can't keep going. You can keep going. Can't is a dirty word. Unusual siren. Been here for a while. That's a new one. Look at this. You say you can't do it. Wes Lightburn says you can. How about that? And I happen to know Wes Lightburn is a sharp dude. Barella says 2 months of dealing with 2 broken bones in the lower half of my leg. Very long road of recovery ahead of me. I'm sorry, Barella. That's a tough one. I broke my leg in a couple places, but I was a kid when it happened. Healing when you're young somehow is a lot easier than healing when you're older. I don't know how old you are, but hang in there, please. And I am going to get going on what I'm here to talk about. Read some great comments, so just bear with me for a minute. Jane says, Boogaloo Jedi, glad you're coming out into the open. We're glad you're in the light with us today. You know what? I love when someone says, I've been lurking, but I'm finally talking to you guys. It's a beautiful thing. Caroline says, I watched your video with you on the hammock. I couldn't stop laughing. It looked like the king. It's a beautiful hammock. It was a fun place to relax. It was nice. See this? He went from I can't to I'll figure it out. You're already moving in the right direction. Can't is a dirty word. You want to hear how crazy I am? I came home I was working at the dating service. I came home on a lunch break, which I rarely was able to do. And I was in this fanatical place where you got to know you can do something. This is a true story too. My son was watching the little engine that thought it could. I think I can. As soon as I didn't disrupt the video, I let it play out. But when it was done, I threw the tape away. It was a VCR. So my kid's mom says, "Why are you doing that?" I said, "Because we're going to teach him that he can. I don't want to teach him that he thinks he can do something. We're going to teach him that he can." And I don't like that. I think I can. How about I know I can? Maybe fanatical, but as he says, you see, my problems are tiny compared to the other people here. So I feel bad to even complain. I know how you're feeling. I get that. You know, I cried because I had no shoes until I met a man who had no feet. And there's a lot of people with no feet right here. I got a pair of shoes. So hang in there. Kristen, what kind of scientific paper? That's crazy. I'm going to read just a few more comments, and then I'm going to get into what I hopefully somebody may find useful. Caroline, believe it or not, I got osteoporosis. And after a fall, I got 5 broken ribs, a fractured spine. Always look after your bones. Yeah, but I'll tell you what, especially your back. Backs are brutal. Burrell was hit by a car while riding his motorcycle. I don't like motorcycles, man. Do or do not. There is no try. Well said. All right. I'm going to click these. If you have a comment that's important, please do me a favor, throw some capital C's in front of it. If you have a question that's important, please do me a favor and throw some capital Q's in front of it. And what I'll do is I'll put a little star by it. And then as we go, I'll kind of refer back to the stars and read the important stuff. All right. But let's talk a little bit about being overwhelmed, because it's part of the human experience. You're not, I'm not different than you guys. I'm not. We're all in the same boat, so to speak. So here's a few things you can do when you're feeling overwhelmed. I made some notes. I need a teleprompter behind me is what I need. Number one, I think this is really important. If you can, try to shrink the moment, if that makes any sense. I think that the feeling of being overwhelmed, it comes when we look at everything instead of see it like this. We look at everything all at once instead of one thing. Does that make any sense? Try to figure out one small thing that you can do right now. You know what I mean? Even if it's teeny, because that, in my mind, that's where momentum, that's the birth of momentum. Even if it's teeny, like I'm going to, put away fold my clothes, something, make my bed. I'm going to journal this morning. Even if it's something minute, that's the birth of momentum. And I got to tell you something, I'm full of crap. I could be completely wrong about all this. So take it with a grain of salt, okay? Thank you for loving my glasses, Caroline. You're sweet. All right, so trying to look at everything. A lot of times we globalize something. We see something, we make that the whole thing. Try not to globalize it. And try to find something small that you can actually you can do. It gives you a sense of control in a world where because here's the thing, when you're feeling overwhelmed, one of the feelings that goes along with overwhelm is a lack of control, right? So if you do, even if it's something small, it's the beginning of feeling like you have a little bit of control. Yeah. Okay. So another one that I think is really important. There's only 4 that I'm going to get to. There's probably 1,000, but I only wrote down 4 that seemed to me. Okay. The second one that I've written down is name it out loud. Okay. Say it. I feel overwhelmed. Say it. Labeling it and saying it out loud reduces its power. It takes away its potency. At least with me, it does. And I could be a weirdo, and I probably am. But if you like depression, if you don't ever say it, but if you say, man, I'm depressed, a lot of times that can remove its sting, take away some of its potency. It's not weakness, it's awareness. You know what I mean? You're aware of it. And awareness is kind of the first step towards peace. Just like doing one little thing is the first step towards momentum. And again, honestly, take this with a grain of salt. I could be so off, it's not funny. There are other starred comments, but this one seems very apropos to this moment. Bulu Jedi says, I think therapy of eating extremely hot peppers and the resulting clarity and the feeling of being totally present in that moment lends itself to finding a new perspective to view life struggles. You should be sitting in front of this camera, not me, Bulu Jedi. That was profound and very truthy. So thank you for adding that. That was very, very good. Hi, Robert. Sometimes just ask for help. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so the third thing I do is try to get your head, or get out of your head, okay, and kind of get into your body. All right, move, stretch. Take a big deep breath. Take a cold shower. Our minds can't calm itself. All right, when it's racing. When your mind's racing, you're not going to be able to calm your mind. So sometimes I think if you start with the body, the mind will follow. Like I said, I could be wrong. I probably am wrong, but these are things that work for me anyway. And this is a really important one. This is where if you guys take this, the 30 people in the stream right now will go to 0 in 2 seconds. Are you ready? Disconnect in order to reconnect. Okay. Step away from noise. Get away from social media. Get away from text, news, TV, obligations. Step away from it, even if it's only for 5 minutes, right? Even if it's just a really brief step away. Get away from it. Silence, and I have a problem with silence, but silence creates space. Maybe that's why I don't like it. And space is space is where clarity can breathe. Take a big breath, if that makes any sense. It may not. Like I said, hi, Jesse O. I think one of the biggest problems that we have is it started, when it started with the 24-hour news thing. Back in the day, I'm an old dude. Back in the day, news happened at 6 o'clock and it was an hour long. It was an hour long. I remember being a kid, man. It was an hour long. And when it was over, you went back to your life. And then someone had the brilliant idea, let's just talk about news 24 hours a day. So we'll talk about the news for an hour, and then we're going to regurgitate that hour, just kind of fluff it up a little bit, change the order. But we're going to say that for 24 hours straight, and we're never going to stop. And then what happened is people use, if you know somebody who does this, put a 1 in the chat. I know people that use the 24-hour, like CNN, MSNBC, Fox, whatever. They use that like background noise. Instead of having like music playing in their home, they have that playing 24/7. Does anybody know somebody like that? Hi, Jesse O. I may have said hi to you already. I'm glad you're here. Jeremy Shelton. You got to always count on Jeremy Shelton. You could have like a liver failure, and he's going to say something funny. But listen to this. Some would say that space is the final frontier. Profound. It really is. You know what? One of the funnier senses of humor. For real. Here's the thing about Shelton. I get every single one of his jokes, and some of them are obscure references to TV shows and stuff or movies, like one-liners. And every time he gets it, he says something, I get it. You know who else does that? Tommy's really good at getting it. So please don't stop doing that, Shelton. I'd be bummed out if you did. Every once in a while, you give like a heavy comment. I'm like, geez. I'm glad you're here. Look at that. Kristen said, my dad used to do that until my mother made him stop. That's a problem, though, because listen, it wouldn't be a problem if the hour-long news you watch was uplifting and fun, and it talked about birth and renewal and a new start. Boy, you could run that 24 hours a day, would be in good shape. But the news sucks. And you know why, right? Because crappy news is what sells. It's salacious. That's what they want to see. So I think one of the biggest. So after that, started social media. I love that. Man, do you know something? There was a day I remember where nobody had one of these. You walked out of your house. I didn't even have an answering machine. How about that? I remember when we got answering. Hi, Aaron. Thank you for being here. It's the glasses. I appreciate that. TH, good to see you. I'm glad you're here. See, this puts things in perspective. Her roommate is dying. More bad days than not. Watching it is horrible. Disconnect. Doing laundry and taking dog to vet, then library. Maybe they will help. Talk about overwhelmed. Lisa's somebody that I know personally. She's not just an aunt. And I love all you guys. I really appreciate all of you being here. But Lisa's a friend of mine, and she's going through it. So I pray a lot for Lisa. Hang in there. I don't know what to say, I know you're a believer. Lean into God. I wish I could take that away. I wish I could abracadabra that away from you, especially for your roommate. But I can't. I promise you I'm going to pray for you. Robert says, I take a walk and I don't watch the news. Anyway, the news got bad, and then the worst thing happened. And I say this. It's kind of crazy that I say this because it's how I make a living. But I don't mean this channel, what we're doing now. What we're doing now is sort of what I think the internet is for. It's not for taking a picture of your dinner, or, what I mean? Social media is just, what are you doing? Social media is a nightmare. It's awful. You know what it is? It's just fake. Everything is fake. They all want you to think that love is perfect, or life is perfect, and that, nobody's got it figured out. But boy, if all you do is watch social media, pick the platform. It doesn't matter. It's just nobody talks about anything real. There's no substance. It's just all fake. And the other thing about it is because everybody puts out this, it's a comparison machine. It's a comparison machine. Comparison is the thief of joy. If you never looked at, we see other things, we see things, and we want what we see. Be happy in where you're at and what you have. You know what I mean? But social media is such a problem. There are people that live on it. Honestly, live on social media, and that just it's not good. It wears people down. It really does. And at some point, everybody, it's really important to step away and get away from it. Let me read some more of these wonderful comments. Okay, Lathan R. This is a while back, but said same Barella, except it was my e-bike. broke my back, neck, shoulder, ankles, legs, and finally, after a year, I'm able to stand without a cane. I have a lot of sympathy for anybody with back problems. I got a bunch of that. Hang in there. Dizzy said, this is what his paper's about. Methods and mechanisms of induced hermaphroditism. Yeah, in diocesan. You know what? Stop it, Dizzy. He's got a scientific paper. I can't even say it, and he's got to write it. Good Lord. You'll be in my prayers today, dude. Seriously. It's going to take, it's going to take me a year. Thanks for the heads up. I'm sorry to hear about that for you. It's the first time Burrell has ever said anything in Leif and R's direction. That's what. See, most of social media is a cesspool. There's some good things happen. We got garbage in, garbage out. Watch what you consume. You guys hear me? Watch what you consume. If you just watch garbage, it takes its toll on you. I swear it does. Garbage in, garbage out. Be careful what you consume. Some very wise men gave me the best advice. Journal. Best advice ever. I got that from Tommy. That came from it. But I'll take it. I actually read this one already. Eat peppers. It's a good thing. Dizzy says, I don't know how true it is, but I read that emotions from situations actually last about 90 seconds. If you keep feeling tormented, it's because you are throwing thoughts to the fire to keep it going. Yeah, and then you change your five senses. Hear different things, see different things, touch, taste, the whole 9 yards. If you can do that, you'll throw your brain can't lock onto something unless you allow it to. If you sit in a room by yourself, you're handing the microphone to the ants to go after you. The way you take the microphone away from the ants, if you're new to this, it's automatic negative thoughts. We all have them, but if you sit in a room, your mind's not your friend. It's not gonna, if you sit in a room in the dark, it's not going to go, hey, things are going to get better. Cheer up, man. You know what? Tomorrow's going to be a new day. Right now, it's just a snapshot. It's not your whole life. Your brain doesn't do that. When you're in a room by yourself and the doors are closed, your brain is just the opposite. It attacks. It's horrific. Barbara says, my parents always had the Weather Channel until Law and Order. Yep. My dad was a Law and Order kind of guy and was the news cycle guy. But I think it's nothing but it's not good for us. It's bad. Let's see here. Okay, so Boogaloo Jedi said about the things lasting 90 seconds. I heard the same, but they said a pure feeling, emotion, only lasts a short time. What you feel after that is just remembering what that emotion felt like in the moment. Sort of makes sense to me. I'm easy to sell, though. A lot of stuff makes sense to me. Gotta say it with confidence. I'm like, yeah, I'm into that. Amazing coffee. Seo Rojo. Beautiful coffee. Yeah, see, here it is. Yep. Dizzy just kind of reinforced that comment. Oh, Leif and I wish I could stay. I have errands to run now. They may have already split. I hope the day goes better. It's always an honor to watch you, John. It's an awfully nice thing to say. Everyone, I send my love, peace, and may your dark clouds go away. This is what social media is for, not the trash. And oh God, these folks that take photos before they eat their food. I swear to you, I know people who have eaten, they have two meals, the one they eat and one they're going to put on social media. Aaron, but they're lucky. Luckily, there are gems like you in there. Awfully nice thing to say. You know what? In the world is kind of negative. They don't like positive. Negative. Listen, if you're a really positive person, it pisses off negative people. It does. So it's important to, hi, Arwa. Thank you for being here. A says, I got hurt in the military, had 3 spine surgeries, and thought that life was over. Was told I would never run. In 2020, I ran my first 5K. It's hard, but mind over matter. That's beautiful. It's beautiful. Boogaloo says, I like that. Ants, automatic negative thoughts, breaking the negative thought loop. That's what it's all about. Our minds are geared naturally to focus on the negative. Remaining grateful helps me. Play fetch with your brain. That's what I call it. Stephen Marshall, good to see you. That's just Some you can see it in your head, play fetch with your brain. If you have a dog and I don't care what the dog is doing, you throw the stick, the dog more than likely is going to go after the stick. Your brain can do that with senses. So if I'm sitting here in the room by myself, I walk outside, I can hear the ocean. There's something different. I hear it. I can see it. I can smell it. So if you can occupy, I challenge you. I don't care what's going on in your life. If you can occupy every one of your five senses, change up whatever's going on, there's no way that can continue. It's hard to do, though. And the more stuff going on, the harder that is to do, right? Look at that. When the positivity is away, the ants will play. That's worthy of taking a picture. Take pictures of comments so I don't forget them. I'll revisit it later. Look at this. When I was withdrawing from opiates, I had a lot of emotions that I felt came from nowhere, like anger, rage, desperation. Now I realize that was suppressed trauma I had been blocking with opioids. Boy, I'll tell you something. If you're new, and I'm a junkie that got clean. Okay. I've abused or was addicted to all of it. All right. And I know that when you get clean, the ants have a field day. They do. You know why, right? Because they want you to use again. It's the truth. This is a great one. Every day is like a TV show. At the end of my day, the credits roll and there's a picture of a dog with a guy saying, "Sit, boo-boo, sit." You boo. Is it boo-boo or you boo? Either way, I get it. So there's there's my charge for you guys. Try to, there's not a lot we can control. See you later, Tommy. You have the keys? They're in here. Okay. There's not a lot we can control, but if you tackle something little, it gives you the feeling that there's some control. And that's really important. I think it is. Somebody new speak in the chat that I haven't said hi to. Hope I've said hi to everybody. So everybody's going through it. You are, I am, we all are. But you know what? Think about what Lisa said. You know who my roommate is? It's my brother, Tommy. I think her roommate's dying and everything's falling apart. Wow. So no matter what I got going on in my life right now, it's hee-haw compared to some things that other people are going through. Natalie, thank you for being here. It's just the truth. So, look at this. This is beautiful. Archie's mom, we need to overhaul the negative energy. It's starting right here. Be kind to everyone, including yourself. Here's the thing. I can't fix the world. I can't get the world sober. You know what? I got me sober. And I can't make the world happy. I can be happy. And if everybody just did that, even if it was just for 5 minutes, do you know what this world would be like? Can you even wrap your dome around that? It's got to start somewhere. That's how a movement starts. You know what I mean? It's not like 100 people jump. It's one person starts a movement. That's how it works. But that can snowball, right? Now, negativity, boy, it's spreads, and positivity spreads. But I think it takes more effort for positivity to spread because that's not our default mode. You know what I mean? That isn't our default mode. It'd be great if it was, but it's not. All right, you guys, I appreciate you all hanging with me. Let's anybody have anything else you want to talk about? Any questions or anything? You know how many emails I got? I did this show talking about sobriety because Tommy and I Thursday are going to go help. There's a recovery center here with 30 men that are addicted to heroin. Now, since we're both good at quitting it, we're going to do what we can to help them. I want to help. I want to do something positive. I want all of you guys to do something positive. If I didn't do that, that gives me a sense of purpose. Look at this. Dina says, chilies are a good endorphin replacement. I've been clean for 6 years. So have I. That's so cool, Dina. I've been clean from alcohol for 6.5 years, but all the bad stuff, they're all bad. But all the really ugly stuff, the kind of stuff that if you say you get demonetized, it's already been demonetized, I promise, because of the things I've already said. Isn't that weird? Isn't that a bizarre thing how YouTube will demonetize something because of a word you say? Isn't that crazy? It's bizarre. Here we go. Question. I'd love for you to talk one day about the nature of kindness. I ask myself all the time if it's more than just being nice or polite. That's fascinating. That is certainly worth a deep dive on. Wow. I absolutely will do a show talking about that, but that's something I really need to research, because I'll tell you what, our default mode is not. It's a shame. I wish it was. That's a really, really interesting. It's fascinating. It's worth looking into. Thank you. I mean it. Boogaloo, 100% positivity is not our natural default. You have to fan that flame of love, self-love. I hope I can love myself as much as I love others one day. That's my problem. Ooh, man, you and I, that's my problem. I don't know if it's because of, I do know what it is. My ants are brutal. My ants are brutal. So I don't even understand like self-love. To me, I don't know, self-love. To me, it's like arrogance. I don't know. I have a hard time with that. I don't hate me. I'll tell you that. For a long time, I hated me a lot, like more than I've ever hated anybody. And the ants, automatic negative thoughts, are sort of responsible for that. You know what I mean? I don't know everybody else. I've talked to a lot of people who've been sober. The minute you try to become sober, my ants go after me about time I've wasted, that I'm a fraud. It's just a matter of time before I use again. I mean, ants suck. But I will tell you this: if you sit here and the ants continue to beat you up, it's because you're letting them. And it sounds terrible, but it's you're letting them. You sit like right now, Tommy just split. I'm by myself. All right. I got a couple cats in the place, but if I turn this thing off and I go to my room and I shut the door and I don't do anything, what do you think is going to happen? You think I'm going to have wonderful natural thoughts of just positivity? Not. I'm going to have ants. That's what they do. You know what I mean? The way you stop it, if I sit in that room, it's like just like saying, here's the mic, have at it. I'm vulnerable and weak right now. I'm hurting, and now's the time you can really do damage. That's what happens. So the way you can fix that, switch up your five senses. Eat something hot, smell something, see something, feel something. But I'm telling you, if you sit in a room all by your onesie, your ants are going to have a field day. Mine do anyway. It's the truth. Let's see. This is a great one. Reminding myself to give thanks constantly and pay myself compliments when they're due. I'm even bad with that. I'm working at it. I don't know. When I was, you read that one already? You stay strong. You're a inspiration, Archie's mom. It's Big Brother. Every time I mention the ingredients of Soylent Green on social media, I get banned. Well, here's the thing. I think, look at this. They're not allowing free speech. Here's the way I think of it. If you say, you can't say words like, I can't say words like heroin, meth, cocaine. The minute I do, it's banned. This was already demonetized. I promise you before this ever happened, before I said that. But I think that if you have a positive, listen, if I came on here and started trashing people, dropping 4-letter words, being a prick, being mean and nasty, you know what happened to that video? Take a guess. What do you think would happen to that video? It would blow up. It would blow up because that's what they want. They want to push that. Now, if I get on here and I talk, if it's a positive message where I try to encourage people to better themselves, tell people I'll pray for them, you know what happens to that video? Now, they don't, number one, more than likely I'll be demonetized, which means I don't make any money on it, which is, listen, it is what it is. I'm not here just for money, but they certainly are not going to push it. Do you understand that they can push a button? Honest to God, they can push a button and they can trend. They can make things trend. It's not like there's natural engagement and then there's artificial engagement. And if they wanted to, they could put this video in front of 100 million people today. Do you think they'd ever do that? Nope. The way I see self-love is understanding it as you are made in the image of God. See, I know that. Don't you know? Yeah, I do know that. Here's the thing. Intellectually, I know all that. I do. I promise you I do. But intellectually knowing something and applying it to your life are two different things. Those who can do, those who can't teach, I can teach I can teach. Applying it is just a different thing. I get it. You know what I mean? But I'm telling you, probably the most important thing I said today, get away from social media. Turn it off for a while because it's not good. Miso Smokes, hello. Thanks for being here. Look at this. Boogaloo. I'm glad you started commenting here. Do that more. Keep it up. Ants can sure drag a person down, and once you start down that road, they all pile on, and the downward spiral starts. You are spot on. If you need something to break that cycle, feel something. I love it. And another big one is saying it out loud, talking about it. You know, it's one of the, like, depression, cancer. They whisper certain things. Don't do that. Like the other day, I don't know if you saw this. Some of you did because I remember seeing you there, but I had a horrible day. A couple of days ago, I was just depressed. I woke up, I was like, man, I don't want to do a video today. And my brother said, then today's the day you need to do a video. I didn't want to at all. And it's a funny video too, because if you watch it, I was like a deflated balloon. Felt like garbage. And as the stream went along, I started feeling better. And you know what? I feel like that's selfish. Did I do that stream just so I could feel better? You know what I mean? What was my, I'm very thankful that I felt better after that stream was over. But ultimately, what I want is I want to help others. You know what I mean? Hopefully someone will see that video. It'll do something nice for them. But you know what my ants did? My automatic negative thoughts? You're a chump. You did that video just so you'd feel better. You selfish. That's what my ants do. The funny thing is everybody has different ants. You know what I mean? My ants are different than somebody else's because they know your hot buttons. Hello, everyone. Just jumping in now. Kellyanne, I'm so glad you're here. I am. Life's interesting. So there's a lot of garbage in the world today. Try to ignore it, to tune it out. Look at something happy. Like if I sit here and watch, like stay on YouTube all day long, what percentage of what I'm watching is really good? I'd rather play with my cat. She's right there. Katie, you know I'm talking about you. Cats are amazing. I don't know what I do without mine. I noticed that if my journal starts becoming nothing but a resentment dump, switching to the gratitude list stops that in its tracks. Yep, I have a friend. I'm not gonna say who they are. I have a friend who was going through it, and they messaged me the other day and said, I can't journal. I'm in such a funk. And that was what I said. And it's not like I'm no guru. That's my brother. I just eat peppers. But I swear to you, I said, forget journaling. All right. Don't worry about journaling. Just worry about what you're happy about. You know what I mean? If you can't think about what you're happy about, it's a problem. Monk, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for being here. You make me happy, Johnny. You know what? You're awfully sweet, Caroline. Can I tell you something? You guys all make me happy. Why do you think the other day when I felt like I was in a really low, I did not feel good. And after that video was over, I felt so much better. It wasn't because of me that happened. I'd like to take the credit for that. It wasn't. It was because of all you guys. Robert says, my aunt is that I'm short. You know what? If you don't mind me asking, how old are you, Robert? Is that okay if I ask that? You don't have to answer. You can email me at chasetheheat@gmail.com if you don't want to answer that. But here's the thing about height. This is actually pretty good because it's been an issue for me. My brother is 6'2", 6'2", and a beast of a dude. Do you know that there was a day where I was 6 feet tall? I've had 3 back surgeries, a neck surgery, and I'm 5'11". And that's if my posture is spectacular. It bothered me that I'm no longer 6 foot. It bothered me for a long time. You know what, though? You're 37. Here's the thing. And again, those who can do, those who can't teach, I'm not good at applying it. I can teach. You're exactly how God wanted you to be. You really are. And those are your ants. Ants suck. You know what I mean? Email me at chase@gmail.com if you want to talk about it. But don't listen to the ants, Robert. Here's the thing. You meet, nobody looks at you and sees you. That's Robert. He's short. You're Robert. I'm not even sure that's your real name. It may not be. It doesn't matter. But the people that are in your life that care about you, your height, and then, let me reverse that. The people that don't like you, or their height has nothing to do with it. The people that love you, height has nothing to do with it. It's who you are. It's who you are inside. You know what I mean? But to a degree, I can relate because I always wanted to be taller. 6 foot was that number. I wanted to be 6 foot, and I was. Now I'm not. Let me tell you something interesting. My dad was 6'4". That's when he was a young man. He was 6'4", just a beast of a dude. When he died, he was probably 5'10", 5'11". Your back, you just get older. You start to decline. And physically, it happens. It isn't just, a mental decline, which happens to a lot of people, but a physical one, Thank you, Shelton. But ants are just brutal. You know what I mean? The people that love you and look up to you has nothing to do with the height. It's who you are. I don't even know if that helped at all, but I hate seeing somebody bummed out about something you can't control. Look at this. Amen, brother. Breaks my heart that I can forgive others, but I still take myself over the coals for stuff a decade ago. I carry a grudge against myself for some reason. That's me. If I let you read my journal, thank God no one's ever going to read my journal, but I can relate to that big time. I'm really, really good at forgiving people. Really good. I forgive people, but they don't even need to ask for forgiveness, and they're forgiven for a couple of reasons. Number one, I'm a believer. I'm a Christian, whether that's, it is what it is. I'm proud of it. But everything about my faith is based on forgiveness. So my God can forgive me, but I can't forgive me. That's like almost an insult to God. And I know that. I'm trying, but I have a very, very difficult time forgiving myself. Probably the same reason why I have trouble loving myself. I don't hate myself anymore, but anyway. Toothaches are the worst. I had to have mine all removed last year, and I'm not fine with it yet. You know what? The day is coming where you will be. Do you know what? Talking about it, one of the things I talked about today about dealing with being overwhelmed is voice, say it out loud. When you say things out loud, it removes its sting, I think. So just the fact that you said that, it's the path of moving in the direction you need to be in, Look at this. Archie's mom says, no government or corporation wants happy, positive people who can see through their BS. And that's how the system is designed. You know what's interesting? This is crazy. Very recently, just in the last couple of days, when the news happened, when news all starts talking about one thing, whether it's a tsunami, whether it's like a bunch of famous people passing, anytime every single one of the news outlets are talking about one thing, do you know what I think? What do they not want us to look at? They're trying to get us to look at one thing. What are they trying to? You ever see the movie Wag the Dog? Holy crap, what a great movie that is. Dina says, I find words like love yourself are easy, but actually really loving yourself inside a lot harder. Yeah, especially I'm not trying to say, I've done a lot of really, really awful things. I've stopped that, I'm sober, but in my life, I've done a lot of really terrible things. You know what I mean? And Boy, I said to my kids, I'm like, be careful what you do because everything you're doing now is just ammunition for the ants that they're going to get you later. Caroline says, my son is 6'5". He's a skinny giant. Look at that. Archie, good things come in small packages. You know what? My mom is a little woman. She's 5. It's funny. She lied to me. I remember one day she used to tell us that she's 5'2". And it could just be she's sort of getting older. Hi, Renee. You're not late. I'm glad you're here. When I was a kid, height was a real thing for me. On my door in my room, I had marked up like 4 foot, 5 foot and inches the whole way. And I mean, daily, I would put my back against and see how tall I was. And then one day I remember, because my mom said she was 5'2". And one day I remember walking down going, hey, you're not 5'2". She's not. She's probably 5'1". And as she gets older, it's going to shrink. It's part of life. Yep. News platform is sleight of hand. I'm behind, but I'm sure you guys probably agree that there's something that they control what we think. The legacy news media uses more misdirection than David Copperfield. That's funny. Look at this. Loving ourselves is a practice, not a one-time accomplishment. Yeah, I believe that. It's just a difficult thing. See, I do forgive, but I must admit I never forget. I don't think anywhere does it say you're supposed to forget. I think if you forget things that have happened to you, you're setting yourself up for a problem. Good. Robert, email me. He says, I do want to talk. Email me. But I don't forget. Here, you know what I mean? I think it's to a degree. I mean, I think you can forgive and not forget. But I think there are certain things that if you forget, it can be dangerous. I could be wrong. You know what I mean? Or if somebody tunes you up and beats the bark off of you and you forgive them, if you don't forget the fact that that happened, you can get yourself in trouble. It could happen again. You know what I mean? So you can be completely wrong. We are not the sum of our deeds. You can't weigh intent. The undying spirit within us is not the flesh. We are not our jobs. Don't let the past actions color your perception of who you are truly. Listen, do you have a YouTube channel? You're saying some truthy things here. Seriously, that's powerful. No joke. Look at this. Sheldon says, whenever the news distracts you with a celebrity death, it comes from the stockbrokers Duke and Duke. Try to hide the crop. Oh my gosh, what a great movie that is. Trading Places, spectacular movie. You know what? You couldn't make that movie today. Do you know how many movies I watched? I read from a list of movies that you couldn't make today. We suck. You couldn't make Forrest Gump today. Most of the great movies you've ever seen could not be made today because we might offend somebody. It's crazy. Kellyanne says, I'm 5 foot, Robert. Lost an inch in height. Female cousins are all tall, 5'9". Talk about feeling different. I'm 6'1" and still struggle with it. The world sees bigger is better. Doesn't mean they're wrong. Dudley Moore. You guys know who Dudley Moore is, right? Dude is a little man. Every time I ever saw him in picture, he was with a California dime. He always dated women that were just smoke shows, 5'10" and up. And he was a little dude. Let me tell you something. Height has nothing to do with it. You know what? One of the worst beatings I ever took in my life was from a guy that was probably 5 feet tall. He beat the cheese out of me. And I wasn't looking for a fight. It just sort of happened, but he tuned me up. I couldn't believe it. So we'll talk, Robert, honestly. Caroline says the world has definitely been ruined by the woke folk. Well, I mean, I get them saying there's certain words you can't say. I do. I get that. You know, maybe some people don't. I understand that there are certain words you probably shouldn't say. But when they force you to say certain words, I got a problem with that. Like, I'll leave it at that. I've already been demonetized, so it probably doesn't matter. But yeah, I hate when they try to mandate certain words that you have to say. I have a problem with it. Yeah, look at this. Yeah, and stuff on Disney offends me. Here's the problem. There are too many people right now that wake up looking for stuff like what can bother me today, and the whole the cancel culture. You guys have any idea how people have tried to cancel me? Nobody ever gets canceled. Nobody ever shows up at your door and say, "That's it, you're done. You can't be in any more movies. You can't write any more music. Whatever." No one gets canceled like that. You know what happens? Someone wakes up one day and go, "I can't do this anymore. I just can't take it. I'm done." You know what I mean? Cancel. You're thrown in thrown in the towel. Kind of how I see it. People have been trying for years to cancel me. Do I look like I'm going anywhere? I promise you, when I stop making videos, it's because I don't feel like making videos anymore. I think the only words that should be banned are Robin, Maurice, Barry, and of course. Yeah, you didn't put Andy in there. You forget Andy? Come on now. I love the Bee Gees. I don't care if you judge me. I'm a Bee Gees fan. I really am. All right. I think we're going to be done here, people. I really appreciate you guys hanging here. So let me ask you, we started this. It was about being overwhelmed. Does anybody in the chat? There's only 33 of us here, which is such a good number to talk to. Is there anybody in the chat that feels a little, even if it's this much, a little less overwhelmed now than they did 56 minutes and 37 seconds ago? Anybody? Andy gets a pass. He was a heartthrob. That's funny. Let's see. With that, Dizzy's vibing. Kellyanne says, yep. Jesse O says, yep. And I want you to know something. Don't for 1 second think that had anything to do with me, because it didn't. You guys understand that, right? Please tell me you all understand that, right? Hey, thank you for being here. You're awesome. And you got this. You know what I'm talking about. You got this. This had nothing to do with me. Please don't get it wrong. Don't put that on me. I had nothing to do with anybody feeling a little bit better today. I've had nothing to do with anybody getting sober. That was all you. So everybody and there's a lot of people that are sober now, and they want to, give me the credit for it. The only person that gets credit for my own sobriety, that's it. But I didn't do any of this. You guys did this. It's connection. That's what it is. Connection. I sit here and babble, but it's the whole time I'm doing this, real important connection is happening in the comments. You guys are connecting. You see each other. Even though you're only looking at me, you all see each other. It's such a cool thing. Definitely needed to speak to some other people going through it with life. We are stronger than these moments. This too shall pass. Amen. Look at that. Josh Cohen. Hello, Josh. Tell Riley I said hello, will you? Robert says, Kelly, I make friends and have fun, but hate asking for help for being short. You know what? You can be a monster of a man and be 3 feet tall. It has nothing to do with your height. You know what I mean? The fact that you're able to talk like this is huge. Huge. When here's the thing. Anybody, if you've ever fallen in love, when you fall in love with somebody, they're perfect. You don't see their flaws. Any of them. No matter what they look like, what they talk like, when you fall in love with someone, you're perfect. Well, God loves you. You're perfect. You weren't made by accident. And everybody in this chat has mad respect for you, me included. So in my mind, you're a giant man and you cast a huge shadow. You hear me? I mean it. Kellyanne, you're a sweetheart. Robert, if you need help, asking is okay. My steps tool is my favorite tool. That's pretty cool. Archie's mom says sometimes there's stuff that's not worth the hassle. Saying on here, Johnny, you're right. Look at that. How dare you? I won't use the word legend. You know, I can block you for saying that. You guys know I'm kidding. I love mom. And that's just a kind of a joke that's been going on for a long time. I have, if you're brand new and you haven't heard that before, the people for some reason want to call me a legend. And, I'm not a legend. Josh is sneaking a little Chase E from work. Don't get in trouble, please. It's not worth it. Caroline, I'm not a legend. Jeremy, love is biochemically no different than eating large quantities of chocolate. Another great movie. Look at that. Is one of my brothers. That right there is a good man. Good man. He's gone through a lot. He's a guy you can look up to. It doesn't matter how tall he is. That's a right there, boy. I want to be more like you, Chris. Do you know that? I'm not joking. In fact, I was talking about you. I was talking about you yesterday. I don't know if your ears were burning. Kellyanne, how do we learn compassion and service if people aren't around us don't need it? Wow. Chew on that. That's truthy. I think I'll take a picture of that one. I hope you're doing good, Chris, though. Hope your family are all well. Here we go. Brella says, take credit for it. Johnny, happiness and sobriety is because of you. No, my happiness and my sobriety is because of me. Had we not found you, some of us still may not be sober. Listen, when the student's ready, the teacher appears. At some point, people that are sober their window was open. There was a student. And in that moment, a teacher showed up. You know what I mean? So thank you for saying that, but own it. You're sober because of you. And people are happy, right? Like everybody in the chat that's happier now than they were an hour ago. It has nothing. I promise. Please. It was because you guys. It's because of what was happening here in the chat. True story. See that? He loves me back. It's a solid cat right there. Office door is closed. Please just whisper. You got it, Josh. Bullcat, who just showed up. Uncle Bullcat, this guy right here. He hurt me. I can't begin to explain to you how he hurt me. He made some fudge, and I do believe it was called hell fudge, was it not? And I have made 7,000 videos. That's a lot of videos. I have hurt myself. Like I eat stuff that hurts, And I'm telling you, the capsaicin cramps. If you ever hear someone say cap cramps, it's from eating too much, of this, and it hurts. And I ate some fudge that he made, and I'm telling you, there's very few times where I've said, I don't know why I'm doing this anymore. Screw this. There's a million. I'm a smart guy. There's a million ways I can make a living. I'm done. I'm done with this. I swear to you, there's only been a couple of videos I've ever said that, and his hell fudge was one of them. Holy mackerel. I'm not even joking, man. I don't even like thinking about it. That's one of those I'd block that out. I mean, I have PTSD from thinking about that. It was brutal. KM says, if you're new and Johnny says someone hurt them with food, it usually means they're very good friends, right? That's funny. Boogaloo says, glad to have met you guys. One love. Keep your chin up and stay strong. Chat is full of legends. See? There you go. Thank you. The chat's full of legends. There you go. All right. I got Josh in trouble. Josh is spectacular. And he has the most wonderful daughter named Riley Rose. She's just what an amazing little girl she is. She's not little anymore. Holy mackerel. She was 4 when I met her. She's not 4 anymore. I've been doing this a long time. I got a comment that one person said a while back. He said, when I started watching you, I couldn't buy beer. I'm on my second mortgage. I'm married with kids now. Been doing this a long time. Too long. All right. See, I can keep going if you guys keep saying things that are important, and you guys have stuff to do. I already got Josh in trouble. I used to make prune chocolate brownies for my kids. Not something you want to give to the old folks. Prune chocolate brownies. I like prunes. That'd be interesting. Prune chocolate brownies. When I was in a fraternity house, we made fudge for our pledges. It wasn't normal Yeah, we did that to our pledges. All right. Thank you. Lawn dog. See, how do I just log off right now? Lawn dog. We've been doing this, lawn dog and I, a long, long time. Lawn dog's been around forever. He's like one of the pillars of this channel. And I'm getting ready to log off, and he says, "Hey, good morning. Feel bad. How do I stop now?" All right. Anyway, I'm sorry, Lawn Dog. I've been talking for a while. If you're overwhelmed, guess what? I am too. Okay. But I'm a little less overwhelmed right now than I was an hour ago. And it's because of you guys. So thank you for all you've done for me. I mean it. You guys are wonderful, and I love you for it. Anybody who needs help, needs support. In fact, look at this. No, I thought I actually did get a few. I get a lot of emails, you guys. All right. Honestly, you guys are wonderful. Thank you for your time. I mean it. And we will do this again. I'll be on tonight with something fun to talk about. Look at this. Robert says, "I just want to say I love all of you." That's pretty cool. We're glad you're here. Lawn Dog, I was being a responsible adult. What now? I got the adult part. What was that thing before it? The what now? The responsible. I'm gonna look that one up. All right. Thank you guys. I mean it. Tell someone you love them. Be kind and be a little less overwhelmed today. If you got something, go through it. Say, "I'm overwhelmed." If you say it in the mirror, it'll take some of its sting away. Okay. Love you guys. I'll see you guys tonight. I'm Johnny Scoville, and this was Chase the Heat, South America.